Well, there's a will. Where there's a will, there's a way. And where there's a Willie Geist, there's a way to get up close and personal with our favorite stars.
Yeah, and he reeled in a big one this week, David Letterman. Here's a sneak peek of David answering the question that's on everyone's mind.
So tell me more about the beard.
Well, you tell me about your toupee. You know, I've been waiting I've been waiting to use that line for 4 years. I wish I had a story. It started out I was just tired of shaving, and then now I'm afraid to see what's under there. So there it is.
That's it.
That's pretty much it.
Not a statement, not a protest.
Nope. Initially it was just pure, I'm tired of shaving.
Just pure laziness. All right, we've got Willie with us today. Welcome, Willie.
Hi, guys. Good to see you. Excellent cheerleading in the commercial break.
Yes, thank you.
I won't ask you to do it on TV.
This is our studio cheerleader. Yes. So listen, David Letterman does not do a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
But he's interviewed thousands of people. How do you prepare for that? Because I feel like that would be kind of a nerve-wracking experience.
Well, a good place to start is by following his career since the time you were about 10 years old, which I did. Right? I was such a fan of his, and every once in a while you sit across from somebody who you go, wow, okay, you want to get it right, you know, so you prepare like crazy. And it's funny interviewing a guy who does interviews because halfway through the interview, he turns the tables on me, and he said something. He said, "Now you were the captain of your high school and football, basketball team." I said, "Yes." And then he starts asking me questions, and I said, "Dave,
wait a minute.
Have you been reading my Wikipedia page?" And he said, "Yes, I have." So, but it was such a blast. We actually were not far from here, about an hour north of the city.
Oh,
we went fly fishing, then we sat, as you can see there, by the stream. And talked, and like you said, he hasn't done a lot of interviews since he left TV 4 years ago, since he left The Late Show. So I just made it last as long as I could till he said, I got to go home.
How long did you sit down with him?
I think altogether we were there 3 hours.
Wow.
Well, because we went to the bait shop to get some flies to go fly fishing at the Bedford Sportsman Bait and Tackle Shop. Great little spot. Then we went fishing for a while, and then we sat and talked for a long time. And he couldn't have been more fun to talk to. He couldn't have been more pleasant. You know, he has this reputation. I think it's an old reputation as being a little bit prickly sometimes. Not the case at all.
Really?
He was open and friendly, happy to talk about whatever I asked him, and he was just great. It was a thrill.
I'm happy to hear that.
Me too. Well, you know, even though he doesn't do a lot of interviews, he still is a household name, right? So what did you learn or experience with him that you were surprised about or stayed with you?
Well, I wanted to know what's he been doing in the 4 years since a lot of us last saw him. He has this Netflix show that we saw last year with incredible interviews with Obama and George Clooney and Malala and Jay-Z.
Right? Yes.
And so we were talking about the new season, which comes out in a couple of weeks. But I said, what's your day? What do you do every day? And he's focused on his 16-year-old son, Harry. And he really talked about living in this universe of late night TV for 33 years, where he woke up, he came into the city, did his show, it's all he thought about, came home, went to bed, and did it again. And he said, that's a pretty small, window to see your life through, and now the world has opened up. He talked about, he has a great riff, which you'll see in the interview, about Costco. He's like, nobody told me about Costco.
And he goes.
He's like, I went in, I went in for the first time. He said, you got to do all the paperwork, then they take your booking photo. I got the premier membership. And he was talking about, can you believe that? I said, Dave, we've all known about Costco.
It's been around
for a while. Costco. So I think, to me, he 4 years ago stepped out of this portal into the world that he'd been missing for his entire adult life.
Like Kimmy Schmidt, right?
Kimmy Schmidt. It's a little like Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah, but we love that you got to play matchmaker recently too with Bill Hader and Keith Morrison, who I love. And
so 2 days ago, I was interviewing Bill Hader right here at 30 Rock, the former SNL star, and as a lot of people know, he does Keith Morrison from Dateline, or he used to do it on SNL. Amazing, but we found out they'd never met each other. So we said, okay, we're in 30 Rock. Bill Hader's going to be here. Let's make this happen. So Keith Morrison, God bless him, flew in from L.A. to do this. And so we brought Bill Hader in. He loves Dateline. We sat him in an edit room, and he said, we said, this is how it comes together. And he was so excited. And then they took in a voice track from Keith Morrison, so we got to hear that. And that was cool enough. And then they say, okay, bye, Keith. Thanks for doing it from L.A. Surprise, he walks into the edit room around the corner, and he got to meet. And I swear, I think Bill Hader told the story on Seth Meyers the other night. He shrieked like a little girl meeting BTS or whatever. He was so genuinely thrilled to meet Keith Morrison. He's a fan. So that
love
was so
it.
fun.
All right. For more good stuff, be sure to watch Sunday Today this weekend to catch Willie's full interview with David Letterman, and check out his Sunday Sit Down podcast where you can hear a lot more, right?
Yeah, you get the full interview, the whole thing with Dave.
love it.
Uncut.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Great
Good to
to
see
have
you.
you. Stop by anytime.
I'm hanging out for the dogs.